Hey guys, I am going to be reviewing a book today, and I mean, you know which book it is, but I have not been so angry at a book and yet cried so hard at something in such a long time. And so when I got to finish with it and I reviewed it on Goodreads, I was like, I don't even know. I don't even know what to do. Because on a writing level, I have so many things to say, but on an emotional level, I have so many other things to say. And it's just mind-blowing to me. So let's talk about Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. And I'll tell you a little bit about it before I just explode off into left field. This is the story of Eliza. She is a webcomic artist, and her webcomic, Monstrous Sea, is like one of the most popular webcomics on the internet. And so she has this huge fan base. Everybody like really loves it. But in her personal life, she is not doing so hot. She really has no friends at school. Her only friends are online. And she just can't interact with people well, and she's very shy. She doesn't get along with her family because they don't understand her internet stuff. And then she meets Wallace, and Wallace is a boy who has as much trouble interacting with people as she does, and they strike up a friendship. But Wallace is one of the top fan fiction writers or fans of the webcomic Monstrous Sea. So Eliza doesn't want him to know who she is. She's kept her identity very anonymous online. And so she, is trying to hide who she is while trying to discover who she is in a couple of different ways. My issues with this stem from like the trope in YA where like the main protagonist is like the most specialist special. And so like even though Eliza, has never had formal lessons, she's like the most popular webcomic out there. She makes tons of money from this, stuff like that. And I was just like, how are you so popular? Like, okay, maybe she's popular-ish, but like, no, she's specifically stated to be several times the most popular webcomic out there, that she makes tons of money, and she has so much money she can pay for college on her own, and it's just like, okay, all right. Because, I mean, at a certain point, the amount of popularity, the amount of money, it stops becoming believable. And it's annoying as well because, who is gonna look at this and say, yes, this is also me? Because I thought this was gonna be a book for, the quiet writer in their room, but the quiet writer in their room is not a super rich webcomic artist in high school. So it just felt all kinds of like, eh. So I really had a hard time connecting with Eliza in the beginning and all of her struggles, and like, ugh, my parents don't understand me because they want me to play sports. And so like her family, they don't understand her attachment to the internet, and they're constantly trying to get her to go outside. And this is just like a common thing for me. My parents say this to my brothers all the time, and it doesn't come from a place of like, ugh, your like life's pursuits are not important to us kind of a thing. It's just like, you've been sitting in a chair for like 7 hours, maybe you should go outside. So, and I don't know if that's just the fact that I'm like 23 now and I'm just like, yeah, I get what the parents are saying, but like, I don't know. She felt very entitled and very spoiled, but also just like, ugh, no one likes me and no one understands me and my life is the worst, but I have all this money and like this great fan base. So, right? So I got super angry at it. And then as I kept reading into the book, Eliza really struggles with anxiety and depression, and at a certain point in the book, something happens. I don't want to spoil it, but something happens and she stops having the will to draw her webcomic and write her webcomic. And just the way that she described it, and the way that she described like the visceral feeling of like needing to do something with her fingers and like wanting that spark back, it just struck me as very real and very present to my current situation. And I just started bawling like a baby because she then gets the spark back and she starts drawing again. And And she describes that, like the physicality of it and everything. It's just like the exact way that I experience that. And I haven't had that euphoric sensation of, oh, the spark is back in a really, really long time. And I was just like, I was bawling. I was bawling like a baby. And so on the one hand, I'm like, there's this very unrealistic setup, but there's this very realistic description of the artistic process and depression and anxiety and how hard it is to just function as a person. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if I should say, like, I mean, you can read it if you wanna, but like also you should definitely read this. I'm stuck in ambivalence between the two because I like have so many issues with it, but I love it so much. I will say that it is extremely like the process of Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, and I do believe that I liked this better than Fangirl. So I don't know if that helps at all, but that may also be personal preference just on like certain details. But there's a romance, there's a writer, there's, you know, depression and anxiety because writers are generally not happy people. But I don't know. I had so many issues with it, but I loved it so much, and I'm pretty sure I ended up giving it about 4 stars because I was just like, it's definitely not a 5, but it's definitely not a 3. It might have some half marks in there somewhere, but like, if you loved Fangirl and you really wanted another story like that, and you haven't heard of this one before, because I have not heard of this one as much as I've heard of Fangirl, I would definitely read this. Yeah, I don't know. I have feelings, so I need other people to read it and have feelings with me so that we can talk about our feelings. So if you've already read it, you can comment down below. If you haven't read it and you want other details or you have questions, you can ask me. No, please come back to this after you've read it and talk with me about it, because I just have feelings. I have so many feelings. Okay, I'm done. That's it. I'm done. I'm gonna go.